We throw around the word resilience a lot, right? But what does it really mean? It's become such a buzzword, but I think we need to dig a little deeper, get to the core of what it actually takes to be resilient. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what resilience isn't. It is not some slogan you can just shout out. And it's definitely not one of those motivational posters, with a mountain or something that you hang up in the office. And you can't just declare it either. It's not something you can just say about yourself. It's way, way more than just words. Because here's the thing. Real resilience isn't a statement. It's an action. It's a process, one with a real finish line. It's something you actually complete. And to really understand what that means, let me tell you a pretty remarkable story. I want to introduce you to Luz Selenia Ortiz. Now, her story isn't about some rookie trying to find their way. No, this is about a true master of her craft, a respected professional with a whole lifetime of achievements under her belt. I mean, just look at this timeline for a second. She got her license way back in 1971 in Puerto Rico. For more than 45 years, she owned and ran her own successful business, Lucy's Beauty Salon. And even in 2020, right in the middle of a global pandemic, what was she doing? Still learning, still pushing herself, still pursuing her education. We're talking about sustained excellence for 5 decades. And her impact? Oh, it was huge. She wasn't just working, she was building an entire community. She trained students who went on to win awards, she mentored countless up-and-coming professionals, spoke at industry events, and she became this beloved cornerstone of her town, Barranquitas. But then, well, life threw her a curveball. She relocated to Kentucky, and suddenly she was facing a whole new challenge. All those decades of experience were suddenly up against a brand new set of professional standards. So Kentucky required the whole shebang. Verified documents, getting her credentials translated, specific training hours, plus a written theory exam and a practical exam. But you know what? These weren't just hoops to jump through. They were the benchmark, and benchmarks are what define a profession. And right there, she was at a crossroads. She could have just looked backward, rested on this incredible legacy she'd built. Or she could look forward and tackle this new challenge head-on. She chose forward. And this right here is what true professionalism really looks like. After decades of being a master, a mentor, a business owner, she became a student again. And that wasn't a step back. That was an act of profound humility. I mean, she really rolled up her sleeves and did the work. She hunted down her old records from the 70s, got them officially translated, and she dove into studying modern sanitation laws and Kentucky's specific standards. She put in the hours, practicing for that practical exam just like any brand new student would. And this is so important. This is the key to the whole thing. She didn't do all this because she doubted her own abilities. Of course not. She did it because she had the ultimate respect for her profession and for the standards that keep it strong. That is the definition of a true professional. So after all that prep, all the studying, all the practice, it all boiled down to one thing: completion. That moment where all the action turns into a real, tangible achievement. Okay, so first up, the written theory exam. All that studying of the new rules and regulations. She passed. Boom, one down. All right, next up, the practical exam. Hands-on skills, tested under pressure. She passed that too. No shortcuts, no special treatment, just completion. Pure and simple. And get this, she did all of this at 73 years old. 73. After more than 50 years in her industry, she started all over again. And she absolutely crushed it. Her story is just the perfect illustration of that journey, The journey from the hope of I can to the solid reality of I have done. And it's right there, in that gap, that we find the true meaning of resilience. I mean, really think about the difference for a second. Yes, I can is a starting point, right? It's that spark, that hope. But I have done, that's something else entirely. That's a standard. That's a documented achievement. Resilience is the bridge that gets you from one to the other. So here it is. A better definition, I think, one that's been earned through her incredible story. Resilience is the disciplined pursuit of growth. No matter your age, your language, your environment, or the regulations, until completion is achieved. So, what are the big takeaways here? What can we all learn from her journey? Well, for one, that professional excellence has no expiration date. That your experience is valuable, sure, but growth should never, ever stop. That rules and regulations can be structures for success, not just obstacles in your way. And maybe most importantly, that discipline. Discipline is what truly defines the outcome. I mean, think about it. To start over, to humble yourself like that, to study and prepare in a new language, and to achieve that standard again at 73 years old. If that is not resilience, then what is?